So today I am going to be working on my 2024 planner calendar. Welcome, it's Winnie from BellaSunshyn. Just a little disclaimer, if you don't want to see a book being destroyed and gutted, please don't watch my video. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I have been experimenting in trying to find the perfect planner for me. I made one last year where I altered a book. This is only from July to December. There was a lot of pros and cons to this. I did not like how I glued the paper on the front. I guess I didn't have the right glue back then. It's kind of falling apart, it's ripping. I do like the napkin. I think the napkin is a great way to cover a book. I think it's, what do you call it? It's gonna take a lot of tear and wear to destroy that napkin there. The other thing I didn't like about this is that my calendars are white. You guys know me, I like doing vintage. And this, it's okay. I'm just was not really inspired by this. I had my surgery in October, so I didn't even do anything in November and December and didn't really have the inspiration to finish this. So this was not working out for me, and the size, I think it's too small for me. Then I made one for this year, which I was really excited about. This is a flip-flop journal where it is made out of 5 envelopes. This is the same size here, but it looks like this. But mine has 2 small envelopes, and so when you flip through, you have your first signature here, and then you have your second envelope, and then you have your third signature, fourth, and then your third envelope. Then you flip over and there's another signature here, and then there's another signature here. I love this style. I love the size. It feels good holding it with my tiny hand. The only thing I don't like is I was having a hard time using this and putting them in my purse because these 2 envelopes are not the same size. They were not, even though I had a ribbon, it was not working out for me. The other thing is my calendar is in the middle, which I had planned, and it is just too small. And again, I had surgery in August and I'm barely doing anything to the pages here. I do like the little clip art that I made here, and then I was able to dye my paper. So I love this style of journal, but I don't think it's gonna work out for me as my planner. So now I want to experiment with this size. So, you know, I'm getting a bigger size now. I chose this book for a couple of reasons. I like the cover and I'm going to leave it as is. I think the size is a perfect size. Let me show you guys the difference. This is a regular copy paper, and you can see the size is bigger, so I think it's gonna work out for me. The book pages are also already vintage and it's pretty sturdy. The reason why I want to go with the bigger one is because I have been joining these challenges on Facebook and YouTube, and I have all my stuff in a box so I don't lose them, and they just don't fit. This is the calendar that I have. This one will be fine, but like this one that I made for a pocket, it doesn't fit. So I wanted to be able to put these in my, oh no, my clock. I wanted to be able to put this in my planner, and I just can't do this. So look, I got all of them in here just sitting with no homes, and I would like to find a home for them. Here's another one I made, not quite the size that I want, so I need to get a different book. The good thing about this book, it's a Sewn-In signature. So I don't know if you guys can see, there's like thread coming out, so that's sewed instead of glued. And if you are careful enough to remove your pages, you can end up with the pages like this. And I can use these for my calendar. Since this book is already taken apart here, what I would like to do is show you guys how I would take the gut out of the book. I'm going to use a different book. This is the book I'm going to be using to show you guys how to gut it. Of course, you guys don't have to make a planner. You can use the same concept as if you were going to make a journal. All we need is we're going to need a letter opener that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put it inside the spine here to loosen it up, because sometimes it is glue a little bit, and you just want to go up and down, sideways, and you also want to do the other end. And just be careful that you're not going to puncture a hole in the spine. If you're not going to use the spine, then you don't have to be that careful, but you still need to do the same process. Okay, I think that's loose. Then what I like to do is I open the book and just kind of look at it, because sometimes like this page and this page would be glued a little bit, which this one is not, but I want to take my bone folder, because I'm trying to find the hole here, trying to figure out where to cut, and I'm just gonna take it to kind of flatten my book like this, and it kind of separates. It helps you separate your pages. Then I just want to take the letter opener again, put it in there, and kind of just, I guess I have to leave that open, push back, get your finger in there, and then you can kind of, I hope you guys can see this, you can kind of see right here is where you can start cutting, and I would just use my letter opener and try to cut that. Oh wait, I'm cutting. Actually, we have to take these two pages. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to get this thing off. So what you want to do is take the last two pages if they're glued together, so you can tell this is glued together. So you take those two and then you can start cutting right here. There it is. Now, and you can use your knife and just gently start cutting it away. And this is going to prevent you from accidentally cutting your spine. So let me go ahead and work on that. So again, I'm just cutting little by little. Now when you're gutting this, I don't know if you guys can see, you see how the cardboard is? This is why I'm having such a hard time, because they did glue part of the spine here. So you just need to have a lot of patience and just keep cutting away carefully. All right, there it is. We got it done, and our spine is still intact. And then what you want to do is you want to do the same thing. It should be a lot easier now. You want to go ahead and do the same thing on this back, which you will take the first two and do the same process with your bone folder. Kind of really flatten that out. This is what's making it difficult. It's this glue here. There's that glue there. And that's what's making it difficult to really take this off. So I would just keep cutting away until you can loosen up that glue, and then you should be able to cut it off. Okay, that was not an easy one to do. You do need a lot of patience, and it's really going to depend on your book. This one was a little bit difficult because of this glue here is very sticky, but we have the gut out. Before we move on to the next step, I wanted to point out that if you guys were planning to use the whole cover, decorate the front, the back, the spine, whatever you're doing with this book, I would make your spine stronger. I would go ahead and rip this off, and these pages over here, I would take them off. And once I have these off, I would use, I have some Tyvek tape, and I would just tape one right here, and that makes it stronger. You can also use masking tape, but if you do use masking tape, make sure you put more glue to the spine and then put the masking tape. You can also use clear tape if you want. I've seen people use duct tape, and once you have it taped, of course you're going to make the spine decorative. You're going to either use paper or fabric to cover that up, so it's going to give you that extra strength for your spine, and so when you sew in your signature, this is not so flimsy. Let's take a look at the one I'm actually going to be working on, which is this one here. And this one was not that difficult to do because it's an older book. The glue, as you can see, I didn't have much of an issue. The spine on this was already ruined when I bought it, but that's okay because I'm really not going to be using the spine on this. So with a sewn-in signature, you'll be able to see the thread. And I wanted to show you guys on how to figure out how to start taking paper. If you're going to alter a book, you're gonna have to find the middle of each signature that you have in your book. So this one I've already done. So let me find the middle for the next signature. And the way I do it, when I'm looking for the middle of the signature, is I'll take my paper, and I don't know if you guys can see it, and I'll just kind of lift it and see. I know that's not the middle because it's not coming up, and I just keep doing that. Oops. Oh, see? Can you guys see that? There it is. There's gonna be my signature right there. So if a couple more pages and I should be able to find the thread here. There it is. And it's really hard to see, but it's right there. So what you want to do is we're going to use the same concept and gently push the book back with our bone folder to kind of let that opening of where the thread is, because it's really kind of hidden there, and I'm being gentle because I want to keep my pages intact. So just keep doing this until you can see the thread. Then we will need our, I think this is a thread cutter, and so I just try to find the thread without putting a hole in our pages, and I just cut away. And be careful because there's always two. See, that's only one, and you need to go ahead and do the second one. Like that. See? I'm gonna go ahead and work on the other. Okay, I have all the thread cut, and what you want to do is take the first two and then just gently rip it, and you should be able to easily take it off. If not, then that means you still have a thread there. So here's our pieces, and you keep doing that until you can't pull any of the pages. Oh. So now I ripped. What's going on here? When you do accidentally rip one where you're not getting the whole thing, take that piece off because you might have the same issue with the other. And see, that's the last one. I'm not going to be able to rip that. So if you were using this or altering your book, these would be the pages that you would have left to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to take out the pages, or just take out the amount of pages that I need for my calendar. I finished taking out all the pages in this book, so what's left is those end. You'll see the thread here, and then there's no thread here, and there's no thread here. So if you were going to alter this book, and this is a Sewn-In Signatures, you start from the beginning, find your first page and your first middle, which is this one. I can see the thread here. What you're supposed to do is take this page and this page, and you're supposed to glue this together, and that makes it one page. And you do the same thing here. You glue it together. If you wanted to do a pocket, all you had to do was fold this, and then you can have a pocket this, you know, going this way. You're hiding the thread that's in the middle. If you accidentally take out the middle here, I did that in one of this right here. I took out the whole signature, and as you can see, I can see the spine or whatever cardboard that's glued on, and it's very, very ugly. I mean, you would have to really clean that out good. And there's no way for us to cover that, because when you look at this, there's our thread here. We are supposed to glue this together, one page, and then this one is supposed to go here. And so there's nothing covering this up. You can use all 4 pages and glue them all together, but that's really going to make your page very thick. And if you think you can take off this one and this one and then glue this back together, remember there's a chance that this will come out anyway, and also you're gonna have a big gap like right here when you can see it. For this book, I would have had about maybe 20 pages, and I think that would have been plenty for an altered book. For this spine, I think it's about maybe 3/4, it's less than an inch. So it would have been plenty. You would have had enough space to decorate your pages and everything. What I took out of here was the shiny paper, and they had pictures of birds, and I thought they were so cool and so pretty. And I got excited because on one side and then on the other side you have a different bird. You can make a tag out of this or give them away to people. They're just so neat. I need to make sure I do something with them. Look at these owls. And even the other pages, you have they have good illustration. There's like a fox, a lion, so colorful. I love these color. There's a what is this, a crocodile or maybe an alligator. I'm not sure, but I need to go through these paper and see which one I don't want, because I am gonna cover it up anyway with my calendar, so I don't want to use something that has a pretty picture in there. I have my pages picked out. Now I need to do is I need to go ahead and take out this whole thing so we can go ahead and work on making our spine bigger. I have my book all gutted, so all we have left is the cover. Before I take out the spine, I want to reinforce. I don't know if you guys can see, there's like this dent on this book where it doesn't have any cardboard in there. It basically ends like right there. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put a cardboard behind this here to level it out on this side and on this side, and then I can go ahead and cut them apart. The reason why I'm doing this is because if I cut my book to this size, then my pages is gonna be too big. So I would have to cut this, and I don't wanna have to do that. So I need to just go ahead and reinforce it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use a cereal box and try to get it all leveled up. I finished reinforcing the cover. I had to triple the cereal box to level out on the page or on the cover, and this is about 1/4 of an inch, and I was able to lift this up and insert my reinforcement, and then I don't have to worry about having different color on the top and the bottom. So this is done for now. The next step would be figuring out how thick we want our spine. This is the hardest part for me, is trying to figure out the spine here. I only have one completed journal. This was my junk journal January, and I started off with 1 inch of the spine, and it is now, it's about 3 inches. And I did have to work on this every single day, so it's got a lot of pages. So if I want to go with 2, the other one I have this journal, which is my boho journal. It's got 3 signatures, and it's not complete, but it's embellished, like it's ready to be worked on or give away. So I think this was 2 inches. And then I have Archie, which is my idea book, and I think that's also 2 inches. And it's got a lot of pages in here. Let's see. I have, this is my project idea book. Let's take a look. Archie is red. So we go to the red, and here's my spine that I use. And it looks like I have 3 signatures and then 2 removable. So total of 5 signatures in there. And there's a lot of pages. There's 12 pages per each signature, so 48. That seems a lot. And then my boho one, I know it's somewhere in here. Here it is. The boho one has 3 signatures. It's also 2 inch. And that looks like they're about 1/2 inch separated. So let's see, Archie and the boho, this is probably, what is this one? Looks like 1 centimeter apart. So I'm thinking I want to do about maybe 2.5 to 3 maybe. I have to keep in mind that this is going to be a year's journal, 1 year, not years, 1 year journal. And whoops, it's going to be 1 year journal, and I have to carry this around, so I don't want it to be too thick. And if I am holding this, I suppose I can do a 3, I don't know. Let me play around and decide on the spines, on how thick I want my spine to be. In order for me to decide on how thick my spine is going to be, I need to know how many signatures I'm going to be putting in this planner. And I decided per signature I'm going to do 2 months, so that gives me 6 signatures. I know that's a lot. I've never done this much, but we'll see. So the way I figured it out, I don't always have a graph paper laying around. Well, I do have graph paper. I just don't know where it is when I need it. So I'm always relying on my bestie, my little, well, not little, but my ruler, my Westcott ruler. And so I kind of played around, and just to show you guys how crazy I am, I have to do, you know, little sample stuff. Like this one, it gives me 2 inches, which is not what I'm looking for. And that was using the centimeter side of my ruler, using this line over here to see what it would look like. I want to make sure my signatures are equal distance from each other. And that's why I'm going through all these trouble. And then I have one that's 2 1/4 would be my spine. And then I have one that's almost 3. So I said I wanted 2.5 to 3. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. I even cut out like a sample of what a 2 3/4 spine would be, just to see how big it is on my hand. And I guess that's not too bad. I even did a 2. So I'm gonna go with this. That's gonna make my life easier. Our next step is going to be cutting off the spine off our cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it along the side of the new reinforced one that we have, using my metal ruler and then using my X-Acto knife. And then I'm just gonna cut this side, and then I'm gonna cut this off. So we're gonna have in total 3 pieces. Here's our cover, and it's all ready. So now I need to decide on, do I want my spine to be hard or do I want it to be soft? I want to go with soft, but I also want to make sure that my spine is going to be sturdy. So I'm going to use one of these Amazon envelopes that has these foam inside. I think if I double it, I think it's gonna be, it's flexible and it's also pretty sturdy. So I think that's gonna be a good foundation for our spine. So now I need to go and pick the fabric that I want to use to cover the side of this. I found a fabric that I have, and this is all I have. It was kind of a sample one that I bought, and I'm not liking that it's really see-through, so I'm gonna have to add another fabric behind it. And I'm thinking, like, what if I do a white? I think that might, I don't know if I want to coffee dye my cloth, or I can go with, I have an old t-shirt and I can go with this gray color. I think that might be it, and I don't have to coffee dye it. Make it look darker. I think that might be it. So this is gonna be what you're gonna see outside. And then the inside, I wanna use the other half of this. Hopefully I have enough materials. I wanna use the other half and put it on the inside. And then I have this paper. This is not a cardstock. It's thinner than a cardstock, but heavier than a copy paper. And I wanna be able to just put it like this. So I think that goes well together. There's so many decisions to make on this planner. The next one I need to decide on, do I want the spine, the signature thread showing like the one on my boho journal here, or do I want a hidden one like this one? I think I'm gonna make my life complicated, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with the hidden one. What I would like to do is go ahead and cut our spine with this bubble envelope. And what I would like is, I want like a 1/2 inch of fabric on the front like this. So it would look something like, kind of like that. So we would need, so on each side we need 1/2 inch. So we need an extra inch, and we are going with 2 3/4 of a spine. So we would need 3 3/4, if I think I'm doing my math right. So we're gonna go ahead and cut our piece here, and I'm not gonna do the end of the envelope because there's no bubble in there. So I'm just gonna go along the line here and start from there. I'm running into a problem working on our spine. The original idea I had was doubling this up, and we're supposed to glue it here. I think it's gonna be too bulky if I have it double. So I experimented and I tried out one of the fabric that I'm gonna use, which is the background, and I glued a single grocery paper bag to it. And I think that's gonna be good enough. It's not gonna be too bulky once we have it glued to this side here. And this by itself is not, for me, it's not sturdy enough. So the best thing I can think of is, once we have this, I'm going to just cut this piece into the 2 3/4 is where we were going to sew in our signatures. So we're just gonna cut it, and I think that's gonna be enough for sturdiness. So for prepping, I'm gonna go ahead, I think with the main fabric I have, I'm gonna go ahead and coffee dye this because I think it's gonna look better. And with my coffee dye, I add some rubbing alcohol into it just so there's a low chance of my stuff getting mildewed. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep my fabric, have it all cut, and I'm gonna have it all, this 3 pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and sew these together. and I'm going to leave like, I don't know, 1/8, just so I can cover this paper and we can't see it. Then I'm also going to prep the backing of our cover and the other one with my paper, and I'm just going to glue this piece. With this one, I'm going to copy the line over here, except here I'm going to go all the way to the edge. So we're going to have the yellow border to it. And I'm going to do it for this piece and this piece, and I'm going to use my 3-in-1 glue for gluing this together. I have my fabric spine drying and also the cover. And while they were drying, I was editing my video, and I noticed my video is a lot longer than what I wanted it to be. So I think I'm gonna have to go ahead and do part 2 to finish up our project. But just so we can get ahead, here's a couple of things that I'm going to be doing off camera in prepping for putting in our signatures. These are the signatures that I am going to be using to glue my calendar on. So I think what I would like to do on these pages is I want to, as you can see, there are a lot of holes in my paper, Moon. And what I would like to do is to reinforce my pages, just because I know this calendar is going to be, I'm hoping that it's going to be used all the time. So I want to make sure my pages are going to be sturdy and strong. So I want to add a masking tape or this, I don't know what this is, but it's not athletic tape. It's something else. It's really thin. I'm not sure what it is. I don't even know where I got it. I just found it with a bunch of my tape. So I think I'm going to use this one. And I did do an experiment as to if it would take ink. So here's what I did. I used a masking tape, and as you can see, you can ink that and make it vintage looking if you want. And this is at the bottom. And the masking tape, of course, I believe on both of them, I put glue on there just for extra strength. And I just need to do it in one side, and I think that's going to be okay because I'm going to have to put more holes, so I don't want my pages to tear apart. So I will be doing that to all of these pages that I have. And then on top of that, I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges, so I can just be ready to glue my calendar. So if you're using a digital and you only printed it one-sided, you know, you can prep your paper by go ahead and coffee dyeing it, cutting the white part if you wanted to. I have, this is the calendar month that I want to put as the cover for each month. And then I also have like these for the month that I want to go ahead and coffee dye all these pages, and then I'm gonna cut them and ink them, and then ready to show you guys when I'm ready to glue them. I'm also gonna dye some envelopes or anything else I think I want to put in the signature. I hope to see you guys on part 2. Well, I'm really not gonna see you, but I hope you guys will watch part 2 to finish up this project. Until next time, happy crafting.